Center for Domestic Training and Development, CDTD, is a women's rights movement dedicated towards reshaping the perceptions around care work, particularly advocating for domestic workers' rights. But most of the work we do revolves around 4 pillars, which is child labor, decent work, labor migration, and sexual and gender-based violence. And the reason that we are here today is particularly because of the labor migration and decent work aspects. Through our labor migration pillar, we are able, number one, to try and advocate for the safe migration of Kenyan workers from Kenya. And mostly we usually deal with domestic workers, simply as the name states. Our organization was started with domestic workers at heart. So what we do, we offer them training through the NITA accredited home care management curriculum, which is actually an innovation of CDTD. This curriculum was initiated by our executive director, Ms. Edith Morogo, who's also a Trafficking in Persons Report Hero awarded by the US Department for State this year in 2024. It's a very, very holistic curriculum that covers all aspects of the work that domestic workers might do once they leave the country. So that's one of the things we do. We also offer them pre-departure training. This is just to prepare them once they are now set to leave, to prepare them on what they are going to expect in that area, maybe learn some bit of Arabic, learn some bit of conflict resolution, and also basically to just understand their rights as migrant workers in a foreign country. So we also do that. Then once they are already working, we partner with self-help groups and survivor-led organizations such as the Domestic Workers Returnees of Kenya to ensure that we are following up also on their welfare. And this now extends all the way to once they return back to Kenya. So we offer assistance, and by assistance I mean holistic assistance to migrants or returnee women who are coming back in distress all the way from the airport. So we rescue them, we reach them at their point of need. We are able to offer them safe spaces through the shelters that we run and coordinate through the National Shelters Network, and also offer them holistic support in terms of psychosocial support, skills training, and all of this is done with the end goal of now reintegrating them back into society so that they can at least continue being productive members of our society and making them also employable once they're back home. We've been privileged enough at least to work with some very, very good partners, key among them being the Global Fund for Women. We currently have an active grant with them. We've also been working with the Global Fund for Children, particularly now in terms of the safe spaces for the child laborers that we usually rescue through our child labor wing. And we've also recently been part of the ILO CAPSA project. We were one of the 5 implementing partners for the ILO CAPSA project. We've collaborated also closely with IOM, and government has been supporting us in a very, 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 very big way over the years that we've been working, and this is actually, of course, it's through continuous advocacy and continuous lobbying. So currently we've forged a very, very strong partnership with the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, particularly the State Department for Labour and Skills Development. We've been in contact multiple times with the current and even the previous CS, Cabinet Secretaries. The previous CS was Honorable Bore, and the current one is the Honorable Mutua. And the government, particularly the Ministry of Labour, has actually helped us in a very big way. So if there's one key outcome that I would love to see from this is maybe the organizers to be able now to bring the stakeholders together in a more collaborative effort, and also possibly involve the actors who are in the ground, which is now people like us, in the project design phase, which is what is actually happening right now. Because we usually say projects come and go. Projects are time-bound. It might be a 5-year project, but in the real sense, once the project ends, who is left to sustain the gains of that project? These are the actors, and these are the people who are actually living and breathing these issues. Now, like at CDTD, issues of domestic workers and returnees are embedded in our DNA. We have it in our strategic plans. We've been doing it for 20 years. So even after the project ends, or even after whichever project ends, we'll still continue carrying on the gains that we gain from this. But most importantly, the most important thing is for us to have a collaborative space where people can collaborate, people can learn from each other, and we can also exchange our knowledge and be able to share our resources and tap into each other's strengths, so that we can be able to have a collaborative effort that will give us the outcomes that we desire. So the best thing I would advise is, before you migrate, kindly interact closely with organizations that advocate for safe migration practices, and ensure that the agency that you're going to go to for you to be placed in any form of recruitment is a duly registered agency which is in good standing with the law, and ensure you do extensive due diligence of that agency before you commit to anything. But my advice would be, at least with that kind of approach, you will be able to ensure that you're safe, and you'll be able to ensure that you will come back home safely.